Fantastic. Susan.
For me, it was 1 week before the verdict, and it was a few days before the closing argument. Michael looked at me and said, this is, before, we even found out what he was going to be acquitted of all charges. He looked at me and said, Susie, he used to call me Susie all the time. Remember, we're spending 10, 12 hours a day, 5 months, 5 days a week. And he said, Susie, I just want to tell you how grateful I am to God and to my family for having found you and Tom. That was the best thing that ever happened to me. I just want to thank you so much for everything you've done. So I'll never forget that.
After the case in Santa Barbara, my brother and I and my mom rode together in the same vehicle, and he said, Tito, out of all these years, I've never done anything for you. I've never given you anything, and I have a present for you. I said, really, Michael? What is it? He said, I'll show you. So we pull up into Neverland, and we get out the car. He said, come on, let me show you your present. And he said, there it is. We walked to the garage, go, there it is. And then in the garage was 2 Bentleys. And I said, what, Michael? I didn't think he was meaning the cars. I said, what? He said, the Bentleys. Choose one. You can have any one you want. True story. And I said, Michael, I don't want to take your car. He said, but I got 2 and I got 5 more. So I said, well, in that case, maybe I should consider. So anyhow, I said, well, Michael, they both are beautiful. I don't know which one to choose. I said, which one would you choose, Michael? He said, well, this is the one I drive all the time. And he said, but this one is newer. And I said, well, I don't know what to choose, Michael. You choose it for me. He said, well, Tito, to be honest, I would take this one. You take this one, the one I drive, because everyone who rode in this vehicle have signed the ceiling, and on the ceiling was Beyonce, Magic Johnson, Liza Minnelli. I'm sorry, David. But everyone that was a friend of his had rode in his vehicle. I have a vehicle now that I cherish, that my brother gave me, and has all these beautiful signatures on the roof of the vehicle, including his own. And that was my fantastic memory.
And this has been an emotional night. I can see you've been crying, and you look so stunningly beautiful. Doesn't she, everybody?
There's so many. I'm thinking in terms of many years ago, Michael, whenever he engaged on a project, he always would give it the utmost attention. And I'm thinking about this one time when he had this very special project and he kept it a secret, but it was for the entire family. And what he proceeded to do was to collect as many pictures as he could of the family growing up. And he put them all together in a collage, and he had them framed, professionally done, and then he wrote inscriptions underneath them about what he expected in the future and how important family was. But what he did was open up a gallery, and he put it in the house over the garage, very professionally done. And then he had the entire family to come over, and he surprised us with us looking at that. And we saw ourselves from little tots all the way up to adults, and that was so precious to him. And it was such a beautiful gift, and I always think about that.
That's fantastic. People ask me, what do you remember about Michael? And one of the things is his laugh. Because the Jacksons all laugh like this. They do. They all have that. They all have that laugh. And it was infectious. And Michael used to love to play practical jokes. I remember one time I was gone to get some food because he was staying over my house in Doheny. His brother Jackie lived in the building, and John Travolta lived in the building. Very happy building in the early 70s. And he took this crazy glue. And I sat down to eat the meal that I brought back, which was KFC, which he said was organic. Which, he said if you take off the skin, it's organic. But then he didn't take off the skin, so how organic could it have been? And I sat down, and I was attached to this chair until I had to take off my jeans, walk around in my boxer shorts, and try to chase him for doing that to me. And he just always liked to have fun. And people said, what was it like? A lot of the fans wrote in to produce the 30th anniversary celebration, his last concert, which we own. We were partners in a business called World Events LLC. And it was incredible to reunite the Jackson 5 after 17 and a half years. And I'll tell you how it started. I woke up one morning, I heard the Love You Save. How many of you remember that Jackson 5 record? That was my favorite as a kid. And I used to play it in the car, and Tito would go, would you change the tune? I go, no, I love it. And I heard on the radio, I said, I'm going to reunite them. And Michael said, oh, I don't want to do any concerts. And we went to San Francisco on a trip, convinced him to do it, and I'll never forget the first day of rehearsal. Watching them perform all those great songs, there was a smile on my face, and he goes, you know what? I'm glad you made me do it. And I know he's smiling tonight, looking at us, and I hope you really enjoy this film, because all of us put our hearts and souls into it, and I want to thank Andrew Eastle, the director of this film. He's the author. Because this film would not have been made if it wasn't for this man. Where are you, Andrew? I know you're up there somewhere, but there he is. He put in 15 months, and he worked sometimes 12, 14, and 15 hours a day to give you a story, which I think tells who Michael Jackson really was and is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Marvin Gaye, also Helpless, Take Me in Your Arms, Rock Me, Miss Kim Weston. Motown legends, let's hear it from them. Lady sang When I'm Gone and Every Little Bit Hurts, one of Michael's favorites, Miss Brenda Holloway. A man who sang Beauty and the Beast, A Whole New World, Aladdin's Theme, sang with Roberta Flack, so 58 duets, the one and only Peabo Bryson. Peabo Bryson, ladies and gentlemen. This next man has had 24 hits in the UK. 5 number ones, 12 top 10 records, the lead singer of the Stylistics, the one and only Russell Tompkins Jr. They're all in the film you're about to see, and once again, thank you so much for coming. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for a fascinating insight. Just before we see this incredible film, what an amazing selection of talent we have here on the stage before you.